Delegating on today on behalf of Environment Hamilton, thank you again for providing a second budget delegation day. And to the 8 of you I can see right now, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to delegations from the public. I would just like to say that despite Environment Hamilton's support of having 2 budget delegation days, this was scheduled quite far in advance, and we do just stress everyone to think about the message that's maybe being sent to the public and to the delegates today, that the mayor and several senior staff were scheduled to do a media availability precisely at the exact same time that this long scheduled meeting was scheduled to begin. So I would just like to flag that as something to consider for future budget delegation days and when it comes to scheduling media availability for the mayor and senior staff. With all that said, I'm going to keep my remarks pretty darn short. I think my colleague Juby Lee and several others before me have made some really great points with regards to bike share. But very specifically on behalf of Environment Hamilton, I would just like to say that we are in full support of the HSR budgetary request and the implementation of the additional year of the tenure transit strategy that we've seen. On behalf of Environment Hamilton, I would just like to say as well that the budget presentation that we had from our new transit director was quite impressive and thorough, and it was illuminating several hours in which that you all listened to that presentation and asked questions afterwards. HSR ridership has significantly dropped over the course of the pandemic, but we do know that it will recover. And we do know that at some point, as we can see from recent events, that a lot of people in Canada and in Hamilton are eager for things to return back to normal, and they will one day. And that's why we need to ensure that the tenure transit strategy is maintained, that we make investments in the HSR now, so then that way we're ready for increased ridership. And most importantly, that we're feeding riders into the B line LRT once that's up and operational in the future as well. Increasing transit service is going to be beneficial to Hamiltonians across the city, and we're extremely optimistic about the way that transit is being brought forward and being directed under our new leadership, and ultimately seeing some really great questions and discussion from council and the public as regards to public transit and what form that will take in the city of Hamilton as we move forward, really focusing in on densifying what our current urban boundary and building up our neighborhoods now. And Environment Hamilton looks really forward to being part of that discussion going into the future over the next several decades. And finally, with that said, I would be remiss if I didn't state that we at Environment Hamilton are also looking really forward to discussions about how to improve the HSR and how to bring the LRT within HSR operation. And we look forward to continuing to see the HSR remain supported by the City Council and ultimately, become the vibrant and robust service that we know it can be that services all Hamiltonians. And with that, that'll be the end of my delegation, and I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.